All right, hello everyone, and welcome to our Bloomerang webinar today. We're so glad that you could join us. If you would, please drop into the chat what the weather is like where you are today. Right now, currently in Indianapolis, it is 68 degrees and sunny, which is really unusual for November, but I am not complaining. So if you go ahead and drop into the chat, just let us know where you are and what the weather is like there. We'd really appreciate it. All right. Okay, let's get started. We're going to jump right in with a poll today. So I'm going to launch our poll. So after you put your weather into the chat, you can come back and answer these questions for us. First question: has your organization had a Giving Tuesday matching program in the past? Yes or no? Second question: in your personal life, are you more likely to give a larger donation amount if you know that the donation will be matched? And then the third question: have you ever decided to donate because you knew that your donation would be matched? So I'm watching the numbers. This is so much fun. All right. Great. And those of you joining us, go ahead and if you want to drop into the chat what your weather's like where you are today, that's great. We've got a wide range of weather across the nation today. So it's really fun to kind of see that and see where everyone's joining us from. So awesome. All right, I'm gonna give you a couple more minutes to answer our poll that's up on the screen as you're coming in today. We're gonna be talking about Giving Tuesday, matching gifts, but a lot of the information you're gonna be getting today can be applied throughout your fundraising season. Matching gifts are a great way, and you're gonna find out in just a few moments, to be able to raise even more funds with the dollars that your donors provide you. All right, I'm gonna give you one more minute to get in there and answer that poll today. We've got people from all over the United States joining us, and it's really awesome. It's very interesting, too, how different the weather is all over our nation today. So really exciting. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end our poll. I know not everyone got to answer. I'm going to give you just a second here. Hopefully you're jumping in real quick, putting that answer in, because I'm clicking the end button in 3, 2, 1. All right, let's share the results. All right, so it looks like the majority of people attending today, 70%, have not had a Giving Tuesday matching program in the past. But for those of you that have and have not, there's going to be a lot of great information in our session today. In your personal life, are you more likely to give a larger donation amount if you know it'll be matched? 74% of you said yes, you absolutely would give a larger amount. And then the final question, we had 77% who said that they have decided to donate in the past because they knew a donation would be matched. So that's really great information, and we really thank you all for sharing that with us. And as we said, anyone is going to gain a lot from the session today, learning about Giving Tuesday matching gifts. So I want to go ahead and introduce our presenter today, and I'm going to stop my video so that I'm not distracting to you from the slides. But we have with us today Micah James. Micah is an amazing worker here for Bloomerang, and she is on the coaching team with Bloomerang Kindful. She's had experience in nonprofit development as a director, and she's a certified fundraising executive. She served on the board for the Oklahoma Council for Economic Education. So she's really, really passionate about economic education and financial literacy. And she's also passionate about equipping nonprofits with the resources they're going to need to be successful. And that's what she's going to be doing right here today. So without any further ado, I will turn it over to Miss Micah James.
Thanks, Margie. I am really excited to get started here today. Welcome everyone from all over the nation. It is a nice fall day here in Oklahoma where I am. I hope it is at least nice enough where you are, where you can get comfortable, maybe grab a cup of coffee, and we can get connected here on Giving Tuesday. I know it's right around the corner, so we're gonna see if we can talk about some strategies to get going. So let me just pull this up and we're gonna get going here today. Whew, my mouse is kind of jumpy today. Our agenda for today is we're just gonna go over some basic Giving Tuesday history. We're gonna talk about matching gifts as a part of a larger Giving Tuesday strategy, whether you choose to incorporate it this year or you make it part of your plan in the years to come. Having a matching gift is just kind of a really exciting way to maximize the momentum that people have as a part of Giving Tuesday. So we will talk about that. We're going to talk about finding a good matching gift partner and what that looks like, and utilizing a database like Bloomerang to make that happen. We're going to talk about segmentation and cultivation of those donors in a CRM like Bloomerang to identify those matching partners. And we're going to talk about customizing a campaign. When you get started with a matching gift, you want to make sure that you are able to identify those gifts as they come in as a part of that matching gift. I do want to call out some housekeeping things before we get started. There is a chat feature. I do encourage you to connect with each other and share some best practices in the chat feature. But if you do have a question about what we're talking about today, I do encourage you to use the Q&A feature. Margie, it looks like we do need to open up that Q&A feature. Maybe it's not open yet, but utilize that Q&A feature to ask those questions. So we'll look at that and check back on that throughout the presentation today and make sure we're addressing all of your questions. So, all right. So Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday started just a little under 10 years ago. It's going to turn 10 years old this year. It was born in 2012, believe it or not, out of this idea that we have, Black Friday, we have Small Business Saturday, we have all of these ideas, even Cyber Monday, but where is philanthropy in this whole season around Thanksgiving? So Giving Tuesday was born out of this idea of incorporating philanthropy into all of this season. So Giving Tuesday really has become a vital part of our year-end fundraising cycle, but it is still fairly a new idea. You can really integrate this into your own strategy as we start to raise awareness of generosity around your mission and purpose. In 2021 alone, over $2.7 billion were raised for nonprofit organizations, and this is both online and offline. People are being encouraged more and more these days to give online, but we don't want to forget our offline and dedicated donors. So $2.7 billion in 2021 on Giving Tuesday. In 2021, that just in the United States is 35 million people. So this is a really large initiative. And so we want to make sure that if it is appropriate for your organization, that you're maximizing this kind of season and idea around generosity. Now, many of us are familiar with the social media initiatives around this, and Facebook started matching dollars a few years ago. And we're going to talk about this particular match, but the goal is not to go after matches like Facebook. It's to create your own matching campaign with donors and organizations that are committed to your cause. But Facebook did start giving $8 million in matching dollars. That does go away relatively quickly, but there are corporations just like Facebook that are committed to Giving Tuesday. There are new initiatives around Giving Tuesday. One is called Giving Tuesday Spark, which is aimed at youth. And it encourages volunteerism, kindness, giving back. And so you can think about how you can incorporate the younger generation into your initiative as well. And like I said, it will celebrate 10 years this year. Matching gifts as a part of Giving Tuesday is just a way to maximize the excitement. It's a way to get your community involved. It's a way to get donors involved. It's a way to really solidify that commitment that you have in your community. And so how can we do that by utilizing all of the knowledge that we have? There are a couple of important things to know about, starting a matching gift program. Like many of you indicated in the poll that we had started, 1 in 3 donors indicate that if they would actually give a larger gift if a match is applied to their donation. So, matching gifts do encourage larger donations. So not only is it going to encourage giving in general, but people like to give larger gifts if they know it's going to be doubled, or whatever the matching gift program is. And 84% of survey participants just say they are just more likely to give at all. So those two in combination equal just good fundraising. So the key takeaway of this is, like, you want to make sure that you're communicating the match well. It's going to encourage them to upgrade as well as just give initially. Some of my big do's and don'ts around giving a matching gift and setting up a matching gift program really will set you up for success as you're thinking about setting this up. You want to make sure to cultivate these community partners throughout the year. These programs don't just happen overnight. And so you want to make sure that your community partners, whether that's an organization that you work with in your programming, or maybe a grantor or a vendor, you're talking to them throughout the year, not just in the last few weeks before Giving Tuesday. I know that's where we find ourselves today, but it's never too late to start those conversations. So you can plant the seeds now, maybe for a future matching program, and hopefully those seeds will turn into beautiful flowers here in the coming years. You want to make sure that you're tracking employers and organizational connections in your CRM. Bloomerang allows you to do so easily, and you can run reports to see what connections you have in your network. I truly believe that as you track this particular type of information, it brings depth to your CRM, and you can really see how your community connections are coming to life. Connect with companies that you're already connected to. Like I said, your donors and volunteers and your leadership. It looks like that would be a great place to start. And we'll talk about where to look for good matching partners here in a minute. And always communicate early and often. If you're going to start a Giving Tuesday matching program, make sure that people know about it. And communicate it often and early so that they know how to participate with you. Be specific in your asking. What types of gifts are you going to match? What kind of matching program are you going to ask? There's more than one type of match that you can offer. And we'll talk about those different kinds of matching gift programs in just a moment. Be creative. This is definitely an opportunity to have fun. I've seen so many nonprofit organizations get really creative with how they bring matching programs to life. And, around the holidays or any kind of season where people are already in a festive mood, is there a way you can incorporate that kind of festive spirit into your matching gift strategy? Now let's talk about a few don'ts. don't chase that Facebook match. I know that it's really tempting to go after those millions of dollars, but unfortunately it is gone in a matter of seconds. And so don't count on that being your only strategy. I'm not saying don't try, but don't count on it being your entire strategy. And so just want to make sure that you have more of a robust plan than just that Facebook match. And Margie was able to find out that Facebook is matching this year up to $7 million. Don't be trendy. Don't follow trends or TikTok trends or social media trends just to get $1. Make sure that you are staying true to the mission and purpose of your organization. Just to get $1, just make sure that you're staying really close to your mission and purpose. A good example of this is I have an organization that serves the Navy that I work with, and they're, instead of doing Giving Tuesday, they're doing something on Navy Day. And so if Giving Tuesday isn't exactly what you're looking for, be creative in a way that serves your unique mission and purpose, and make sure that you're identifying and connecting with your community. It's okay to be true to who you are, and your donors will respond to that. Again, don't abandon your mission and purpose. I kind of dived into that one a little early. Don't discount the power of social media. You know, you do have those tools at your disposal. Many of times it's a very inexpensive way to market the campaign that you're doing. So plan ahead, plan those campaigns and messagings well, and be prepared to share those and respond to those messages with your community. And don't forget to recruit help. I, as a development officer, have sat in many of your seats and know how hard the fundraising work is. Don't be alone during this very busy season. Recruit volunteers, find some interns, find some very willing and able volunteers to help you in this work. Absolutely. And it looks like Adam has shared some more information. I'm going to copy that and put it in the chat. Thanks, Adam. So how do you recognize a great giving partner? This is where your data can really help you. You can recognize major donors. Major donors are often a really good resource. Maybe they can be the matching donor themselves. Maybe, you know, you've all heard our a good radio station might have a donation drive, and it's like, this hour has been sponsored by this donor and matching funds. So matching donors are often willing to sponsor, a matching gift of some type. Board members are often a really good source. So this is often a really good source of information. And both of these, major donors and board members, can connect you to resources as well. So this can also be a potential for building a network of resources. So thank you. Foundations. Many of us write grants to foundations. Having a conversation with foundations about your interest in doing this foundational work and doing grants might be another opportunity for a small grant around a matching gift. This happened for me when I was doing nonprofit work. We had a regular annual grant that we wrote for a foundation, and we approached them and said we wanted to be creative and do a Giving Tuesday match. And they were willing to have the conversation with us about this creative opportunity. So approach the foundation and have a conversation with them. Vendors and sponsors. Many of us may have changed the way we do events or those kind of things. It might be a way to lift up some of those vendors and sponsors that we've changed relationships with, highlight them in different ways, get their name out in front of our constituents in new ways. So approach those vendors and sponsors that we have relationships with and see if they would like to partner with us. Local celebrities. We all have those local news media people or radio host, or maybe you have a TV person in your area, or, who knows, you might have a local celebrity that I don't know about. But they might also be passionate about your cause and be able to support you with a matching gift. And giving collaboratives. These are on the rise, and this is usually a group of kind-hearted people that pick a group or a nonprofit that they're passionate about, and Women for 100 or whatever, and 100 people get together and they write $100 check for a nonprofit. So they might be able to partner with you and put that towards a match. So all kinds of ideas here. As you prepare for Giving Tuesday, you also want to identify your goal. And while many of us know the traditional match is like dollar for dollar, there are other goals besides just raising revenue. And so this can help you formulate your giving program and how you set up your campaign to execute it. Obviously, increasing total revenue is part of the goal. And so if that's the overall goal of your matching program, then you can set up your giving program to target an increase in gifts. But an increase in engagement might also be a goal or the overall goal. Do you just want more people to interact with your nonprofit in some way? Increase total average gift. That might also be a goal. Do you want people to upgrade their giving? And so you might message this differently than something that has been done in the past. Create repeat donors. So it might be a way to formulate a donation campaign, a matching gift campaign, where people start a recurring gift at this time. And so, if you give for this many months, then it will be matched or something like that. Engage lapsed donors. I've heard this one formulated that says if you haven't given in the last 12 months and you start a new gift, then your gift will be matched. So that's also an opportunity. Engage a new demographic. So that will also be an opportunity to aim at a new constituency in your community. Who are you missing when you talk about communicating your message and your mission? And then develop a new partnership. Is this an opportunity to just highlight a new partnership? So maybe the overall goal isn't necessarily new revenue, but to develop those partnerships with those new matching gift partners. And again, kind of along the same line of developing new partnerships is increasing that visibility for matching partners. Kind of want to stop there and see if there are any questions. Again, if you have comments or conversations, that's for our chat, and questions kind of go in the Q&A. Any other questions about just strategy in general before we hop into what it looks like coming to life in Bloomerang? All right, I'm not seeing any questions. So let's dive into Bloomerang and how this might come to life in how we might cultivate our database to find potential match partners. So when we use Bloomerang, you'll have your data in your database. And there's a wide variety of ways that you can run reports in your database to segment and cultivate your information to find good matching partners. So the first step really is to find a good matching partner out of the people that are already engaged with your organization. So we want to run a report. And Bloomerang has several templates already built into the database that can help you really do that. Reports are a built-in tool in Bloomerang. So you can click on the toolbar on the side here and click on reports. And then you would click on new. Once you clicked on this new button, you would get an opportunity to either build from scratch or start a template. If you wanted to build from scratch, you could obviously use our reporting feature to build a constituent report from scratch. You could build filters based on employers, relationship with employers, relationships to organizations, and you could really dive into the depth of that relationship. So you could really segment there. Or you could start from a template. Seeing here, you can really talk about all of the different templates that Bloomerang has to offer. But the one that might help you dig into finding a person or organization that would be a good match partner would be our employer relationships template. So we're going to start there with our employer relationships template. And it really groups people by their employer. And the reason that I recommend starting here is that you can see which organizations or employers have a core group of people that are already engaged with your organization. So if an organization has 5, 10, 20 people that are already giving and engaged with your organization, they might be a really great organization to approach and say, hey, you've already got a really great core group of people engaged with our mission and purpose. Can we partner together to make this amazing? Can we be a matching partner? Can we have a volunteer day? You know, start the conversation from wherever you think it's appropriate. You know, this is where you have a year-long conversation. Maybe you start small and build up to Giving Tuesday. You know, maybe in February you have Volunteer Day, and in May you have, you know, a get to know you tour, and then you work towards Giving Tuesday where they're your matching partner. And so you can work towards that match, and then as you recognize what's appropriate, you know, you could start there. And it really is up to your organization and its goals. You know, maybe $5,000-$10,000, or you know, larger organizations it might be 25 or 50, depending on what projects you're aiming for, that specific goal you have in mind, and the goal of the day itself, based on those different things that we broke out earlier. So let's dive into that database. Give me just a second to pull this up. All right, give me a thumbs up if you see my Bloomerang database. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of raised hands. Awesome. You can put those hands down. Thank you very much. All right, just like I mentioned a minute ago, we're going to start right here in our reporting tool. We're going to go right over here to our new button. And it's going to give us the option to build from scratch or start a template. And we're going to start a template. We're going to scroll right down here and go to employer relationships. And the amazing thing about the templates that are already built into Bloomerang is they are already built. And so you can see here that it's already got the columns set, and already got many of the preset columns here. So you can see that it's already grouped by column. One of the things that I really like about the reporting feature in Bloomerang is that it has the group feature. So if you click on this here, you can see that we can group by employer, we can group by role, we can group by anything right here. So if I move the name over, we can click to group by this column and press OK, and then all of a sudden it's grouped by person. So the reporting feature is very customizable in Bloomerang. Again, we're going to go back to employer relationships because that's what we're really looking for. But I wanted you to see that you can really segment and do all of these kind of things. One of the other things I want to add to this report is year-to-date revenue. So we can add that here. And you can see the revenue that has come in, and it sums the total at the top. So you can see if there were transactions for these particular groupings. You can see that Dunder Mifflin as a group has brought in $100 and those kind of things. Obviously, this is my demo database, so there's not a lot of transactions for this year, but you can kind of see that. That would also help you inform to say, oh, this particular organization is really active and really generous. So I want to approach them to be a matching partner. Any questions about that report or columns or anything like that? All right. I do want to tell you about another feature that we have. It's setting up the matching campaign itself. So as you get going in your matching campaign, you want to be sure to set up the campaign. But before I dive into any of that, I do see a couple of strategy questions that I want to address. So let's just take a pause really quick. I'm going to get a drink of water and read some of these questions. I do see a couple of questions that aren't directly related to matching gifts. So we may have to defer to a follow-up on some of these, but I do see a great question about offering incentives for a matching gift. The question is, do you find it best to offer incentives for a matching gift the same way you would for a sponsorship packet? If so, what kinds of incentives do you use? Again, I have really leaned on I have surveyed my donors for this. Every community and every donor base is different. But I will say that most of the time when I survey donors, unless it is a significant thing that's going to really have meaning, most donors don't want junk, right? They don't want a koozie, they don't want a pencil, they don't want a thing. They want something of value. So talk to them about what the thing is that they find valuable. And really it's a conversation. So if the matching partner finds marketing valuable, talk about that. You know, and for the person that's making the donation, you might make it optional. I have seen, you know, when I give a gift that has a match, like, would you like a mug or a t-shirt or a sticker? There's a way to opt out of that for the donor. I know it costs you as the nonprofit money to send me those things. Honestly, I want all the money to go back to the nonprofit. I don't want you to send me stuff. So you might just give them an option and see what happens. really communication with your donors is key when it comes to those kind of things. I think sometimes we forget to ask the people that are receiving these benefits or these incentives what they actually want. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Let's see. Yep. All right. Yeah, and follow up. I do see the like incentives question is more for the partner. Again, talk to them. In recent months, I don't know if it's a change after COVID. I've just had a lot of nonprofits give me feedback that even in sponsorships, that people are wanting less stuff and more things to go back into the nonprofit. So really talk to your partners about what they find valuable and what they want. Do they want their logo on your website? Do they want social media attention? What do they want out of the partnership? And I don't think there is a cookie cutter answer for what any partner would want out of those matching relationships. So. All right. Any other questions before we go forward? Wonderful. When you're setting up your matching campaign, this really is an opportunity to make sure that all of the gifts that are coming in for this period of your matching campaign are marked appropriately with the fund campaign and appeal for this particular campaign. And so you want to make sure that you've set it up correctly so administratively you can easily run reports. And this is easily done and in Bloomerang. And so I just want to show you really quickly how you can do that. Again, in settings, you'll have the option to set up your website integrations, which includes our online forms. Our online forms are the means that which you would collect donations through your website in a secure manner. And so you would go to settings and click on online forms. And then Bloomerang has the ability to set up many different kinds of forms to collect information. And so for this particular campaign, you are collecting gifts. So we would want to set up an online giving form. And so we would choose the function of online giving form to set up that particular template. So we would click on online giving forms, and you would have the ability to create one from new or edit a existing one. For this exercise, we're going to create one from scratch. So you see everything that is possible from start to finish. In an online form, you have the ability to give it a name, connect to a transaction processor, and Bloomerang does have its own transaction processor called Bloomerang Payments. So it's seamless inside of the database, inside of the CRM. And so you would be able to process your payments inside of Bloomerang. You would be able to send a confirmation email. You can send a basic template or customize that communication. And then set your donation levels. And we are really big here at Bloomerang about having an impact statement. What are those dollars going to do? And this is a great place, particularly during a matching campaign, to share how those dollars will be matched and how they will make an impact. After you've set up your basic template, you can set up your success page. What does it look like after you've set up, clicked through and made a successful transaction? And so you can absolutely do that, including social media sharing to encourage people to share when they've given to your organization. And then you'll be able to preview your form. And this is what your form, the basics of what your form will look like. And it will actually be embedded on your website. So it will take some of the characteristics from your website when it's embedded. You'll get the code here, and you will embed it into your website. Our forms are always secure. So if you happen to not have a secure website and you don't have CAPTCHA enabled, instead of being embedded directly in your website, a donate button will appear, and your donors will be directed to a landing page version of that, so that all donations are always processed in a secure platform. We do have an additional online customization with our Kindful partner. Kindful and Bloomerang are now one company, and so Kindful Online Fundraising Tools is an additional add-on that you can have with your Kindful fundraising tools. And so you can absolutely make your forms in Kindful, and all of the additional information will feed back into Bloomerang. So when you do that, you make your forms in Kindful, and I just want to show you where to do that. So if you have the Kindful add-on, you would click on Kindful, and it would take you to an additional tool that would allow you to create custom campaign landing pages where you would be able to set up additional branding colors, goal thermometers, background images, and all kinds of additional customizations. Many of our customers find this very appealing because it does have these additional features. You can upload very pleasing background images and all kinds of things that are just additional options to our Bloomerang online fundraising tools. And all the information still feeds back into your Bloomerang CRM for you to manage. So let me kind of show you how this works. We'll get back into the database here. You can see right here, we're going to dive into settings. Get out of this report here. Like I mentioned before, our online forms are right under our website integration here. So I'm going to click on edit. Then we're going to click on online giving forms. Can you tell I've been talking about Giving Tuesday a lot? So we're going to click on add new here. And we're going to create your very own Giving Tuesday Match 2022 page. And again, we're creating a form that can be embedded in your website. So if you have, a page that is dedicated to your Giving Tuesday match, you can embed this form right there in it. Or if you wanted to put it right there on your homepage, wherever you wanted to put it, absolutely. Again, we're going to connect to our processor. So this is seamless and integrated into Bloomerang. You can pick a confirmation email. Again, these are customizable inside of Bloomerang, and we do have Giving Tuesday templates that you can use. You're going to map these to the fund, campaign, and appeal that you want these transactions to be dedicated to. And so again, if this is general operating or unrestricted, the campaign might be 2022 annual campaign, and the appeal might be Giving Tuesday match. And this appeal is going to allow you to filter for these gifts to either give a report to your match partner or be able to report out how many of those gifts need to be matched in the end. So absolutely. You can have some options here about recurring donation. Do you want the donor to be able to select the frequency? Otherwise, they will recur monthly. Do you want them to be able to select the start date? Otherwise, they will start immediately. Do you want to allow electric fund transfer? Otherwise, it's just a credit card. And we love this feature called True Impact that allows the donor to offset the fees. So even more of the financial impact goes back to your organization. Then we want to set these donation levels. And again, we're all about the impact statement here at Bloomerang. So turn 15 into 30 with your donation. So this would be a really great place, particularly in a Giving Tuesday match program, to say, you know, your 15 is going to turn into 30 with your donation. And so you could do that down the row here into 100. Or you could just simply say, you know, $50 makes this amount of impact, or, you know, whatever is the most appropriate wording for your organization. If you had any custom fields that you wanted to collect, so you absolutely could do that. It is just a matter of preference. If any particular transaction fields you wanted to do here, it's absolutely up to you. We're going to click next. This is where you can customize your success page and say, oh, I gave, absolutely. I'm going to share here. You know, I just made a donation. Come along for the ride. Absolutely. And then we can save and preview and we can see what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to look like generally. Again, if you have, you know, some standard text and those kind of things in your website that guide your kind of style sheet, it will kind of adopt to those standards on your style sheet. Then next, this is where you grab the piece of code to put it on your website. So this is where you would embed it on your website. So this is where you would put it in your website. If you don't have a secure website, again, this donate button would appear and you would have a landing page experience, what we call a hosted page, so that at all times those donations are secure. I do have a question about a Giving Tuesday pop-up. We have a tool called a plugin in our Kindful fundraising tools. So that is part of the Kindful fundraising tools, and I'll be sure to show you that in just a second. There is also a question about a general donation form instead of a specific one for Giving Tuesday. It's really up to your organization how they want to gather these. So Giving Tuesday gifts, if they come in through that general page, they'll come in aligned with the fund campaign and appeal from that page. So when we look at settings and we go to the website integration, if the form is set up, and I'll just go to this general donation page, all of the donations that come in through your general donation page, if they're unrestricted, if they're 22 campaign and they're, you know, whatever it is, they'll all be classified under that appeal. The benefit of having a different campaign or online form for Giving Tuesday is that all of those donations will be correctly marked with the correct appeal. So whether you tag it in a different place on your website, embed that form on a different place on your website, it just allows those donations to be coded correctly as they come into your CRM. So that's the benefit of having more than one online form. This particular form that I'm showing here is a part of Bloomerang. I will show you in just a moment the Kindful versions. All right, let's jump into Kindful. You notice that when I clicked on Kindful, it did take me to another tool. You can see here that there is a different look and feel to the Kindful fundraising tools. So you can see here all of the tools here in the Kindful fundraising tools option. So we would go to campaigns, and then we would set up a new campaign. For the purposes of this, let's just pretend I press new campaign. And I'm just going to open one of these existing ones just so you can see it. You would have the option to give it a name, a title, a description, and again, map it back to those funds, campaigns, and appeals so that it's all designated and tagged correctly when it goes into the CRM. One of the other things that I love is you can have a goal amount and show that goal amount on the campaign page so that you can track that throughout the campaign and your donors can see that as well. You can have a splash image, and for the purpose of this, I'm going to pick, I always go to Christmas lights because it's very pretty to see. And you can also pick your colors here. So when I save this, and we go back in, when I click on this direct link here, view campaign, you can now see it's very visually different than the Bloomerang online form. You have the option to put a picture in the background. You can now see this goal thermometer here. You have the ability to customize your donation amounts, but you always have the ability to put in anything you want. One time or recurring, you have the ability to customize this button here. So lots of customization options that the Bloomerang forms do not have. So it's really up to you which form you want, which options you want. And again, this is a landing page version versus the other one, which is an embed version. So lots of ability to really find what you need and get what you need with Bloomerang. So I'm going to take a pause real quick and look at the questions. How do you find campaigns? That's a great question. So when I go into settings, in Bloomerang, you have the ability to kind of set up your funds, campaigns, and appeals however is most appropriate for your organization. So your transaction settings, again, everything in Bloomerang is really set up for your organization. You can kind of see here your organization settings here. You can invite your users. You can add those custom fields for your constituents, but really in transactions, you get to kind of lay the base of your transaction life. And so when I click on edit, you kind of see that screen pop out here. And so you can set up funds, campaigns, appeals, custom fields, your transaction processor is here. So if I wanted to create a new campaign, that would be great. So you click on campaign, you can see the ones that we have built here. Campaigns are really big. They are, time sensitive. So maybe a year-long initiative, whereas appeals are the ways that those campaigns get funded. So maybe a solicitation letter or those kind of things. So appeals, you're going to have way more appeals than you are campaigns. So you can see here that, Giving Tuesday and Giving Tuesday Match might be an appeal to some of those campaigns. And so you can manage either one of those lists here. You can add new at any time, or if at any time you stop using one of these appeals, you can deactivate. So hope that was helpful. Another great question, do the campaigns exist in Kindful and Bloomerang regarding of where they are created? Amazing question. So if you want to use those campaigns, funds, campaigns, and appeals to track your transactions, you do have to create them in Bloomerang first. So we would have to create them transactions, funds, campaigns, and appeals. We would have to create them here. And then we would use them to inform the settings on either our online forms. So we would go to our settings on our online forms, and we have the ability to pick fund, campaign, or appeal here. And in Kindful, same idea. We want to make sure they are aligned with those funds, campaigns, and appeals. Really, all you're doing here is creating a landing page for people to experience And so when we go into this landing page, you're still mapping back to those same funds, campaigns, and appeals that you created in Bloomerang. So you want to make sure that all of this is created in Bloomerang first, and then it will map back appropriately. So I hope that was helpful to your question. So I'm going to get back to my slide presentation. Do have a couple more things that I want to cover for you before we end our time together. I do want to share that Giving Tuesday is not the end all be all of your fundraising world. I know it can feel that way for fundraisers this time of year as we're ramping up. But matching gifts should be a strategy of your life all year round. So whether you start planting the seeds now or whether you have a matching gift that you're cultivating for Giving Tuesday this year, just make sure that it's part of your work all year round. I will say that if you include it in your strategy all year round, there are many different kinds of matching gifts that you can include. Challenge gifts, like have a group of people come together and create a gift that challenges other people to give, whether that's your board or a group of volunteers. How can you use giving to advance your mission and purpose? Seed money. Same idea. Is there a group of donors that can seed a project to give it momentum? So not all matchings have to be dollar for dollar or in that traditional way. Be creative with it. Leadership gifts. Can your leadership stand up and say, we believe in this organization, whether that's at the beginning of a budget year or a big project? Can they raise their hand and say, we believe in this, we're going to give in advance, so join us in doing that. So, and then a simple match. We've talked about that a lot. That would be part of, just including that in all of that. Things to be aware of as you do matching gifts. Larger matching ratios do make a larger impact. So moving from 1-to-1 to 2-to-1 would make a larger impact. Obviously, people would be more likely to give. Increasing the target goal with the matching gift. So, if your gift is $5,000, when you have a matching gift, go to 15. Expand and stretch yourself. And then capital campaign gifts are larger when leaders seed. That the statistics show us over and over again, when leaders step forward first, capital campaigns are more successful. There is a list of resources in our slide deck, and you will be getting the slide deck today. So really encourage you to dive into that. There's a ton of resources here. And if you have any questions about Bloomerang, we encourage you to reach out. Margie, I'm going to pass it back to you.
All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate all of that great information today. And before we leave, we would like to ask you just one more poll. If you would participate with us one last time before you head out today. So would you like to have a follow-up and learn more about how Bloomerang can help you in your organization? If so, please put your answer here into this poll. And just out of curiosity, for my own sake, if you would put into the chat where you heard about our webinar today. If you have time before you have to run off and get back to doing the great work that you do in your community. I would love to just have that for my own curiosity. So we do want to thank you so much for being here today, for being a part of this, for all of the work that you do in your local communities. And we also want to thank Micah. Micah, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing all this great information. Please do keep an eye on our website. We will be having more of these wonderful activities and webinars for you to participate in the future. So good luck to everyone for this upcoming Giving Tuesday, and we hope you have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.